You're the chairman and the MD for Air Chateau.
Right.
How is life in the air?
Most of the people, they think I'm actually a pilot, so I'm
Yeah.
not.
Like, what is success to you?
Success, if you have to define and you say, this is success, that means you're putting a full stop.
Name your car collection and a fleet of
Kind
helicopters.
of,
Samir, how have you been, buddy?
I've been doing good. You know how life is, and it's always exciting.
It is tough to get you to come somewhere because you are. Whenever I call you, you're hardly either in the country, or even if you are, you're always busy with something or the other going on.
Well, the good news is that you called. I'm in town.
Yeah.
I'm just very happy to be here.
Thank you, my friend, for making time for Timeout.
That's my pleasure.
Now, Dr. Samir Yusuf Mohamed.
Now, you scared the people saying doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor and a pause scares the people. But, doctor with a difference, yes. Go
Yes,
ahead.
doctor with a difference, absolutely. So, just to get it out there, now you're the chairman and the MD for Air Chateau.
Right.
Now, I know you guys are a private helicopter operator and you've been in Dubai for a while. But I never understood what is it that you guys really are into. So I thought, let me ask directly from the source itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question because that's what everyone thinks. So, I mean, that's where we come in and we tell them how different we are. So when the moment you say helicopter itself is a very big thing. So people, they think that we are like the tour operators. They think that we have an helicopter chartering company or something like that. All of that is just it's part of what we do. So we have actually built an ecosystem around the helicopter business. So we are an infrastructure. We develop something that is to do everything to do with the helicopter business. Sure. So whether it's from owning a helicopter and operating helicopters, as well as having our own FBO, having a maintenance center for all the helicopters. So anything and everything with the helicopters, it happens within Dubai Helipark. That's what it is called.
Yes.
So that's the ecosystem what we actually built. Right. And of course, we've got our own fleet of helicopters, which we will be operating since where we are located from Maktoum Airport next to the VIP private
you guys
jet
in the
terminal
FBO as well, yeah.
So, it makes sense for, to add value to the last mile connectivity for all those ultra high net worth individuals, who's who of the world who land there.
Sure, yeah.
So it's 70 minutes versus 9 minutes by helicopter.
Yeah.
And we also do, of course, the touristic tours for the tourists and everyone they will be doing from other place.
Yeah, how is life in the air? How is it, man? So I'll tell you what, I've experienced sitting in an helicopter only once. I was really young at that point of time. It's in India. And that too, we were going to some... it was a place of worship, so that's when we are taken. And I see you rocking in helicopters everywhere, all in different countries as well. How is it, man?
Yeah, I mean that's what most of the people they think I'm actually a pilot, so I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's so different because when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up to be a pilot. I said I want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
The childhood, when you're crawling and literally growing, and you think. And then suddenly all of that, you have a different walks of life, from a dentistry to being a, personality makeover to an entrepreneur. And today, pretty much flying up there. It's just so nostalgic because it takes me back. Every time I take a helicopter ride, whichever part of the world, it always takes me back in my thoughts thinking that, wow, I wanted to be a pilot and today I'm flying.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a feeling that I don't know, I can't express, but it's amazing feeling.
Yeah. See, I've seen those videos of yours. It looked very, very awesome. They look very nice.
Thank you. I think you should soon
I will
fly with me, and then you'll enjoy.
As long as you're not flying.
I'm not flying. I'm just I'm gonna be right next to you. I'm not gonna be.
It's a safe.
Not yet. I should get my PPL very soon.
You know,
also.
I think you will. I just have a feeling somehow. I think you'll end up getting a license as well.
Which I'm working on it actually. To be honest, in the next 4 months is where I'm going to register myself to get my own PPL.
Okay.
So and then I can fly my friends and family, so they can enjoy.
Nice. That'll be an awesome thing to have.
That's my next goal. Yes.
Yeah. Good you mentioned it, man. So we'll get into the Air Chateau part a bit more and ask how you build this multi-million dollar empire. But what were you doing before Air Chateau? Because I'm aware that you were also a coach as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And you have also you have a degree in sports and fitness science as well.
Yes.
And also a dentistry degree as well.
That's
so what's happening here, man?
So professionally, like career-wise, my journey started as a dentist. So I used to be a dentist practicing, and I did enjoy that for some time, and then till I got into fitness. So fitness has been something which is, I can say, I used to be an athlete, and I used to love and enjoy, every time you go through that sweat and pain. So I guess that was in my blood, and I kind of thought that was like where I needed to pursue. So it was a time where I thought I didn't want to be just a coach. I wanted to do something different, because everyone, is doing a personal training and everything. So I'm talking, you're 20 years back, 22 years back. Probably you were really very, very small, young. And I said, why not come up with something that's different?
Yeah.
And there was this extreme makeover program that was happening, like, surgical procedures and to look good and all that. I said, it's not about that, to look good. You don't need to. You just need to feel good, and everything looks good.
Yeah.
And that can be done through, making one feel good. So I kind of came up with the concept of personality makeover coaching.
Okay. What is that?
And that is something which, basically, physical or personal training is part of it, but it's more than how much time you spend in the gym. It's post-gym, the time how positively you carry your persona. And that's important, because it's all about building, the confidence you have, the kind of the esteem that you get out of, so that was very, very missing. And, people had everything, but then most of them, they would find an excuse. They don't want to go to gym because they're saying, I don't have time, I don't have this. But then many people also would go to gym, and it's just in the gym for that 1 or 2 hours, they try to look in front of the mirror and they feel all good. Yeah. But when they come down, it's like,
Yeah.
So it's not about just the 2 hours or 1 hour you spend in the gym. It's how post-gym, how well you carry yourself.
Right.
So I kind of worked a little bit on that, and I just put my, I created my own concept of personality makeover.
Sure.
And I was fortunate enough. Then I got a few good people that I could work my, my hands around. So
sure, yeah.
So and that did well. It kind of took me for a long way, in fact, in life, I can say.
Okay, that's very nice to hear. I don't know, maybe I got it wrong, or I wanted to ask you as well. You also had something to do with His Highness.
Right? This is where I kind of looked after some very, very important and a prominent royal member. I've been training them for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
So I did that. I started off with them, and then of course very high profile other some celebrities.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was really good to see, and the best thing about this was that I found that, dentistry is interesting. It's an art.
Sure, of course.
But then everything you do it within a closed room.
Right.
And people come to you when they have pain, when they have some problem. Otherwise, they don't want to, right?
Right.
And then you got to be very much confined. And I'm not that kind of a person.
Right.
I like to be out and about. And this was an opportunity which helped me to kind of, travel around the world. Of course, being with the family. So being with the royal families, looking after the royals from here and around the region.
Yeah.
So that also gave me an experience and made me to learn a lot in life. Yeah. My objective, I was there to, do that personality makeover on them, but then it also gave me a lot in life that I could learn from.
So while all this was going on, right, where did Air Chateau fit into all of this?
Well, we had the so-called, everybody would like to minus those, that 1 year or 2 years of in the lifespan, which is the COVID.
Of course.
People were all panicking, nobody knows what's happening and everything. And I think that was a time that kind of gave me this to think that I could do something so different that, it's a kind of a legacy that I can leave behind. And during that time when everybody's like focusing, everyone's like so confused, everyone's so worried, and everyone's focusing on things that on ground. But people forgot there's a big real estate up there, sky. Right. They say sky is the limit. Right. I looked up. Probably it was when I was praying and I was looking up, and then God gave me that message saying that don't be like others. Look here, this is an opportunity. This is where you need to work on. Yeah. So that's how I kind of started thinking and working on. And then I knew it was part of the plan that Dubai had. They had something to do with the helicopter, because helicopter is something you have to understand. It's been not just here, but it's been a very ignored segment because everyone's focused on the fixed wings, like, the private jets and the commercial carriers. Right. As it looks big, it is a big thing. That's what they think. But the most interesting part was the helicopter, and that's where everyone ignored. So I started working on that. And then I said, it can't just be just a helipad, and the definition of helipad and a heliport is a big difference. So I said, let me start working on a heliport. And I looked around. There's Brazil, there's Monaco, there's New York. I said, why can't Dubai be that example? That people, like today we take Monaco or we take Brazil, like Sao Paulo, or why can't people also, we create something that people will take Dubai as an example, as it is now, a brand known.
For a lot of things, yes, absolutely.
And and it was challenging, because I'll tell you, because you can think and you can come up with the best ideas, but then how are you going to make it possible?
Execute it, yes, exactly. I was going to ask.
So because security is the biggest issue. Previously, the helicopters were just owned by the Royal, or it will be like the military operations or the police, emergency and everything, but there's no private. So I wanted to create something that could be a platform where, private people, they can own their own helicopters, because, Dubai, people have big properties, they have yachts, they have supercars, they have private jets, of course. And then I said, why can't we create something that will make these guys to go for this big bird, which everyone's passionate about. So that's how we started working, but rather not just focusing on doing just helipad, but then we wanted to do like a heliport, which it's its own terminal by itself. It's going to have like a maintenance, it's going to have fueling, it's going to have like a training academy, things that was missing.
Sure, yeah.
And alhamdulillah, by God's blessing, and we created something, Dubai Helipark. It is one of its kind globally. Okay. In the world, it's the first of its kind. And I say this because that's who we are as a startup company with just a concept. In this November, we're going to be in 2 years celebrating this air show. From nothing, from no belief, people did not want to believe, what is this guy going to do in a desert? Right. Who's going to go and take a helicopter from there and all? To a company that is grown today. We've been invited around the world. We've been talked about as Air Chateau. Yeah. Everybody knows. So I can say this is purely a blessing. Right. When you have your intentions right, and we have some ideas that you want to do it, and then you keep your prayers. That's it.
Yeah. No, very good, man, and long may you continue ruling the air. Very nice.
Yeah, keep the sky busy.
Yeah. So now when I look at you, right, and the way you carry yourself, it's completely inspiring, man. You tend to, I've seen you give time to yourself as well. Now, you run a multi-million-dollar company. That's great and sound. But how are you able to give time to yourself?
Well, you got to make time.
Because I see you whenever the last 2 times we've met or 3 times we've met, twice I had to wait for a good 20 minutes because you were at the gym, which is awesome. It's amazing how you're able to give time to yourself. Yeah, I remember
first time we met, actually. Yeah. So I first time, and I asked you to come to the gym. It was okay. And then I finished my workout, and then I said, let's sit down together, and we were just... I think, you know what? Everyone is given equal time. God has distributed time for everyone, right? Yeah. It's how good or what best you make out of that time.
Yeah.
And making time for yourself is the most important thing, no matter how busy it is. And of lately, I kind of realized, with time that a lot of people waste or don't utilize the time in doing right because by stressing themselves. And I think instead of doing that stressing part of it and just wasting that time, they can actually think right and make the best out of it.
Right,
Whether you're doing a 9-to-5 job or you are a business owner or whatever you are in a situation, right? No matter what situation you are, I think it's important that you need to give time to yourself, because then the clutter or the confusion or whatever that is stopping you or holding you back, it opens up, it clears your mind.
Sure, yeah.
And when you make time for yourself, it really, and I mean, for me, like, fitness is something and I'm very passionate about.
I was just going to say, yeah, you seem very dedicated, to it,
I mean, that's like literally, like, when they say, right, it's in my blood. And so that's what I'm very, very passionate about. I think that's something I'm not going to compromise and stop with my lifestyle, and not the fact that I'm getting older. I'm younger. I'm old, I'm 50 now.
Yeah, which no one will lie. I get shocked.
It's just a number. I take it. And I said, you know what? I keep a target. I said, you know what? I think fitness is something that kind of keeps you, it keeps you looking younger.
Yeah.
And you do it the right way. And that's what I tend to,
No, man, mashallah, that's very nice, man. I lack the discipline now. I keep going back and forth. Like, like a panda, like every 3 years, I'll look like a human being. And then the next 3 years, I'll look like this.
You're looking good, guys. I mean, last time, I'm not saying you were bad, but then, you are better now than last time, I guess.
Yeah. I would love to believe that.
Or probably you were like, in your jacket, first time you came to meet me in your like suit and everything.
Yeah.
So probably that made you look big, but man, you're looking good. But I think, but it doesn't stop there. I think we should always, even if I could be in my best form, you should never stop. You have to continue. You have to make time, sweat yourself, feel good, and rest. Everything comes, it follows.
You're far too kind, my friend. So what's the mindset of a person? Like, how would you say that, like, what is success to you? Like, is it right now, do you feel like, okay, you've reached a stage in your life, or you've reached that pinnacle wherein you can take it easy now? You know what I mean?
No, I think success, if you have to define and you say, this is success, that means you're putting a full stop. Every milestone you kind of achieve, you feel you have to remember, and you have to remind yourself that's where the hard work goes more. You don't really relax. I'm not that kind of a person, where I feel that I want to kind of retire early, make money, and this is success. No, success is something, it's not about just making money. It's about like, continuing to grow, continuing to keep doing what you want to do, and never stop yourself. Success is something, it's not something where you can actually put in a full stop, right? So success is something which you should always keep working. And if the day you don't, then you see that's, it starts depleting, and that's not what you want.
Right. So are you that type of a person who keeps goals for yourself? Like, this is something like I don't know, probably 20 years back, you kept a goal for yourself. Okay, say when I'm 30, I want like a Rolls, or say when I'm 40, I want a damn helicopter, something on those lines. So you keep goals for yourself.
I think it's very important to set goals, because otherwise you're lost. But setting goal, it doesn't mean with time, because sometimes you could be broken, thinking that I'm not able to achieve my goal. I wasn't able to achieve my goal at this time. So I think you need to set goal. It's very important, but don't limit it with time. So keep working towards it. When you achieve that, you know what is next. Set your next goal. Like in terms of fitness, when it comes to, I'm like, when I was like 30, I said, when I'm 40, I want to look like 30. I want to be better. When I'm 50, I want to look like 40. You could kind of keep those kind of a goal, but it shouldn't be something where you say, you know what, it could be in between somewhere.
Right.
Or maybe it might take a month additional, But setting goal is very, very important.
Right.
Earlier days, I was kind of, I would get excited about everything. I would meet with different people from different part of the world. Everyone comes with some kind of a business opportunities and everything, and being an entrepreneur, how it is, right?
Of course.
And the mistake I used to actually, where I feel, I wouldn't say I regret, but I learned, is that never get excited with all those things. And then if you feel, if you like something, and if your heart says that you want to do that,
Sure.
then for that particular thing you set goal and then work towards it. But I'm not going to say, it's going to be like 1 year from now or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And today's time, realistically speaking, I don't think so you can put a time to it.
Timeline to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, that's an awesome way to look at it. Usually, I'll tell you that later sometime. I just remembered something which I can't say here.
Right.
Right. So you've grown up in Dubai, right? Like you are.
I was born and brought up all my life in Dubai.
Same with
This
me.
is home.
This is home, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So you're also a Dubai child. Like I feel very happy when I meet. I'm sure there are loads, but you've been here all your life, right?
Yeah.
So I don't. It's fair to say this is your house. This is your home now.
It is, to be honest. I mean, no matter which part of the world you go, when you come back to Dubai, this is where you say, it feels good to be back home. And for me, particularly, like, you're younger. Of course, I've seen from the black and white phase to what is how colorful and everything that is today.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see that, and that's one of the thing I must say that, like, what kind of really inspired me to take that risk in developing or building what I have done with Dubai Heli Park and with Air Chateau is the inspiration I saw from Sheikh Mohammed.
Awesome.
His Highness, his vision. Then I said to myself, when there was a time where you feel there's no support, there's nobody who believes in what you want to do, and then and then I just reminded myself. I said, what? As someone like Sheikh Mohammed, who could turn this whole country from a desert to what it is today, he's taken a big challenge and a risk to convert this into what it is today as an example in number one in the world.
Of course.
I said, I'm just taking a risk on a small piece of land. It's not a small piece of land, it's a big piece of land.
Yeah.
And that kind of kept me, that gave me that hope and kept me going. I said, what, I'm going to take this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and where else? I'm not doing it any enough. I don't feel it's a foreign land. It's a home.
Yes, of course.
So if you don't do anything good in your home, where else are you going to do it, right?
Absolutely. Now, what do you remember of this place growing up? Because I don't know, probably you might relate as well. Like growing up here is very different to growing up somewhere else, like say in India or Pakistan or any other place for that matter.
Now you're taking me back with time, and man, I'm telling you, it's still a beautiful memories, and I still think back sometimes, like going to tuitions. There wasn't like Burjuman. There wasn't like, forget, Dubai Mall came way
Very
later.
late. Yeah.
And I was like, I used to be late to my tuitions because I was like chasing camels on my way.
Yeah.
And we were like playing soccer in like some graveyard.
Yes, exactly.
With there was no ball. There was like those are like sweet memories you can never forget.
Yeah.
And in terms of friends and family and things, there was a lot of bonding. People actually gave time for each other. Everybody wanted to. They were always looking forward for a weekend to see each other.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Of course, with development, everything gets very commercialized. People get busy, and now today it's all about survival, and you need to work hard, and all that. And that's one thing I don't want to be so commercial,
Right.
and commercially not available. I said to myself, no matter how busy I am, I have to make time for my family. I have to take time and see my friends. So that's something I want to always carry with me.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important.
Yeah.
But Dubai has been, it's.
You were in our own, right? No.
No, I was in Indian High School.
Oh, okay.
There were only a few schools we could count, and obviously Indian High School was like
It's the oldest school, man, in Dubai.
Yeah.
How was that? How was Indian High at that point of time? Because I had a lot of friends from India, so I was in DPS.
Yeah.
When you were in school, there was no DPS at that point of time. There were our own and IHS and all of these OGs of
Our own obviously was our rival, so we always beat them in football, basketball. So I used to be an athlete. I used to be football and basketball, and I was playing all. And then so and then I remember how um, it was like India-Pakistan cricket, you know.
You're talking about the Salfa phase.
Yes, exactly. So it was very interesting. School, everything about school was different because we didn't have a co-education, and the boys have to like stick themselves to the glass mirror.
Yeah.
The girls will go and to get a glimpse, and then we were allowed to go. Schools always have the rules, and that's something which are meant to be broken. And then I was one of those who was, the notorious one.
Yeah.
Always had complaints. My parents would never want to come in, the parent-teacher meeting. They never wanted to come till I passed my 12th. And there was a time when I had gone to do my dentistry, and then my parents, they had a call and saying that my mom said, I'm sure he must have done something really bad. Now they're calling, And then they didn't realize because they wanted to give me an award because from the sports thing.
Yeah.
So I had like top then, and there was an award for me, which I was not aware. I did it because I enjoyed whatever I was doing, right?
Yeah, sure.
So all the fights, the games and fun, everything I would enjoy every moment of life.
Yeah.
And so they were afraid, and these guys got into trouble. They said, then I think my mom convinced, and they told like, just let's go and see.
Yeah.
And that was a moment they realized that, this guy, not bad. He left something behind for us, something good. So I wasn't there, but then they had to collect that on my behalf, and they felt very proud then, I could
of course,
say,
man,
Yeah. So, but school is, even when I compare it with college, I felt school memories are like, it's different.
Man, so you will not believe it. So I've got about 6 very close friends, all from school.
Yeah.
I mean, from school, and they grew up, like we grew up together. Like either they're from the building that I stayed, or they're from the school. Those school will never be like how, nothing will, immaculate that in any other sense. Like even college and nothing, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And when I tell, even when I tell people outside how school life is over here, they don't understand the co-ed system, right?
Right.
So for them, they're like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, are you not like...
Yeah. And I used to tell them, no, man. So we, in our own everything, we used to have afternoon classes for boys. I don't know if you did that.
Yeah, we had the same thing.
Yeah.
Afternoon we finish, and then again we continue doing, if you're in the sport team, then you have to continue till like late evening.
Yeah, exactly. Till like 7, I remember the school used to get.
And you do all your homework well, and I think then your parents will take you for a treat to Algore to eat pani puri. That was the only thing, bel puri and all the stuff. Yeah, and you would do all your homework and everything just to get that treat.
Yeah. I know. I just remembered a lot of things.
Yeah, school is still a good memory.
Yeah, of course. So now right now sitting over here in this brand that we call Dubai now, where do you think Dubai is headed? I mean, in terms of real estate right now, it is at its peak. Now I think the other day I was reading the Gaming Commission has also been approved in UAE.
Correct.
I'm sure you plan to live another 50 years in the country like you have previously.
Hopefully,
Same goes for me. Where do you see this place going, man? Like, what do you think is next?
It's Dubai is something. It's a brand that today people around the world, they breathe. When you say Dubai, people like, wow.
Yeah.
And we are happy, and we are blessed to be part of this, this city and UAE. Can say Dubai is definitely, it's going to do. And it'll do good, and it'll keep growing and everything. Yeah. There's so much that you can do out here, but I see myself that there's so much that we can do in Dubai, which we're already doing.
Sure.
But now, what I'm saying is to carry that brand or branding of Air Chateau and a baby that is from Dubai to a global reach,
platform,
and that's what we are doing.
Nice.
So we've been, I've been traveling, I've been meeting with different people in different parts of the world, like Sri Lanka and African continent, in Europe and a place where they want us to replicate and do the same thing what we're doing in Dubai.
Sure,
and that's because it's Dubai.
Yeah.
So that's been something, So Dubai, for sure, yes, you have the whole world coming and everything, but at the same time, we're also looking at taking the brand out of Dubai,
And
and
showcasing
branching
it to the
out,
world, yeah.
showcasing to the world.
That's very nice, man. That's pretty much
Yeah.
the same thing what we're trying to do over here as well. That is the leverage I feel we have sitting over here. You know, that's the advantage rather that I
True.
feel we have.
But Dubai is definitely a place. If you have today, if you have something, some idea, something, you can convert that into a reality with a minimum risk.
Sure.
As compared to bigger countries where you go and then you take a chance and then you get hit.
Yeah.
And then you are like, nobody knows. So Dubai, you do something different, and it could be just a little different. And if you can create that difference in the market, that gives you an advantage to be recognized.
Yeah,
and if you're recognized in Dubai, then consider that you're recognized elsewhere.
Elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, they respect you.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So what do you do apart from, say, work? I mean, what is leisure like in your life?
Well,
Don't say gym. Don't say fitness.
No, fitness is something which I think it's there within me. But what I really enjoy is traveling.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that now the traveling has become actually part of my work.
Yes.
So wherever I go, whether all the exhibitions or the conferences and whatever the travel I do, I finish my work. I make sure that I take 2 or 3 days off, time for myself. So that kind of fills in that what I enjoyed the most, the travel aspect of it. Otherwise, it's just that, I just like to, when I'm in town, I just spend time with family, catch up with friends, and then I just cruise around. I enjoy my coffee, I just kind of take it easy. Yeah. There's so much to do here when you're in town. Here it's like, in places you go and you don't know what to do. But here you have so much to do and you don't know where to do.
Where to go
and where to start.
Yeah.
So you have so much options. But I think gone are those days, where you have this, what do you like the most doing? Stamp collection, coin collections, and those growing up, all that stuff. Today you don't have that. Today, I mean, I have car collection, so
yeah, I know that.
I kind of
name your car collection. Come on, be a little.
Not much, I think, but then it's just that little something. So I love Ferrari.
Oh, I know.
So I have a Ferrari and I have 2 Rolls Royce. I have 2 Bentley.
Yeah.
And I've just added a new Mercedes, so I've got 2 Mercedes.
And a fleet of helicopters.
No, this is what I want to get next, But let me get my license first because it makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a license, then I can fly. I don't want to have a helicopter and then somebody else flying, So yeah, that'll be my next adventurous thing to do,
Yeah.
So if you have to ever find me, you just find me flying somewhere and looking up and say, oh, there he's going. I'm going to go grab a coffee.
Yeah. No, awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. One last thing before I let you go. So now I know Dubai is growing. I know it's headed in the right direction. Where do you see yourself with Air Chateau next? I mean, you've told me that you want to take it global, but what is that one pinnacle that you want to achieve? I mean, you want to take it to?
Okay, that's, like I said, this is a legacy that I want to leave behind. I want to build. It's 1 in 100 million kind of a chance and opportunity you get.
Yeah.
And I've had that, and I've been able to execute, and I've been able to work on it, and I'm still working on it. Air Chateau is something to me, it's so close that I could take a brand like when we grew up, whether it's Rolls-Royce, whether it's Airbus, whether it's Boeing, we always kind of looked at it. Air Chateau is, and I'm very confident that Air Chateau is going to be in the helicopter space. That's where I want to place. That's where it's going to go. And that's what people are going to be, recognizing and talking about, all those other brands which people grew up to. So I'm pretty confident and I'm very sure with what we're doing. And if we do it right with a little more effort into it, I think we'll be able to achieve that. And that's where I see Air Chateau. And I wouldn't say sky is the limit, but yes, pretty much from sky, we will be looking at everything.
Yeah. From sky and onwards up, I understand.
Yeah,
man.
why not? Now Mars and
now
Moon.
Mars next, right?
Exactly.
Like Mr. Elon says.
Yeah.
No, mashallah, very nice, man. And I wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you are doing great things, but you'll end up doing even greater things.
Thank you.
Like I said, long may you continue ruling the air.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. And you know what? It's wonderful.
First time, yeah?
First time in podcast. I was like, what is this podcast? My, you know, I know my wife was excited and she was like, wow, you're going to be on podcast. I was like, and she was the one who introduced me to podcast saying, I said, who's going to sit and listen to this? And then, you know, we were talking about something else. It wasn't anything about me being here. And then...
what is this?
And she was more excited about a thing. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And she's asking me, are you like nervous? And I was like, what is nervous? I said, I'm not nervous, but I'm just thinking, what is it going to be like? But you know what? I'm just going to go me, you know,
and
who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be me. And that's about it. But this is interesting because it's just,
right?
it's nothing. It's just we are sitting and talking.
Yeah, that's
but we just have these two mics in front of us and that's it. You know, instead of a coffee in hand or something. But this is,
I'm not doing the coffee. I can't keep the coffee. Costa, if you're listening, I'm waiting for my sponsorship. Once that's there,
that's why I didn't mention specifically any brand because I know the coffee is coming next and all. But this has been fun. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's the first one, and I hope you know whatever I've said and whatever I've contributed, it will it'll be something helpful for people to see and enjoy this show.
Of course, and we'll do one again.
We'll do one time. With the helicopter right now, with the helicopter background, or maybe we should do something different. You should do a podcast from up in air, from a helicopter.
That'll be awesome.
That'll be something very different.
That'll be awesome. Cool. Down, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making time for Timeout.
No, it's my pleasure. Anytime for you, brother.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Justin.